Today on Revive with River, how your unshakable knowing can override so-called rules of reality, why doubt scatters your energy and delays manifestation, and I will share a simple phrase that changed my life, and hopefully it could change yours as well. Thank you for joining me again on Revive with River. I want to share this episode, and this came up because hanging out with some friends, I had run into somebody I hadn't seen in a while, and they asked me a couple of things about, what happened. And this with me when I went to prison, and what we just had talked about. Wow, it seems like you never even went, but it was just a conversation about. It kind of made me reflect a little bit, which is why the last episode and this one, I wanted to share some things that I can look back at now and see with hindsight what happened that was beneficial and how it actually applies to anything, right, in life. So please, subscribe, like, and share, and set on your notifications. And you know anybody that's thinking of anything or something negative has been going on in their life, they've gotten bad news, the doctor said these are the rules, or this is what happens, society, the job, whatever, and that's not what they expect for their life. They don't have to accept it, right? And this is why this episode and these kinds of things that I share are so important, because I don't want I see people stress over what's in the news, what's going on here and there. And it's like, if that's not your reality, you don't have to accept it. Take your attention away from it. So I want to talk about, looking at some of my notes here, what happened, because they were asking me, dude, like, what were you thinking when you were going? Like, you must have, and all this stuff. And I was like, it's funny because I know that at that time, so I want to share this part here. I'll put this here. Power of knowing. Those gentle nudges that we get are very important, because sometimes, so I'm going to go back. I had a mentor in about 2003, 2004. And he told me, he goes, "Hey, River, I know I was put in your life to mentor you, to help you for things that you're going to do later. I don't know what it is, but I just know I need to mentor you and help you." Well, at that time, at that age and at that time with the success I was having in business and stuff, I was like, what are you going to mentor me in? You know what I mean? So, very arrogant, very, ego, at that, usually, younger, is like, hey, do this. I'm just hustling my way through everything. Long story short, about 3 years later or so, we just bumped heads, and it wasn't that we bumped heads because of him. It was more because of me. I didn't really want to follow, and I didn't care to follow what he had to show me. So he's like, I thought about this, and I just have to let you go. How is it going to work with us like this? It's not working. So, go find hopefully somebody you can allow to mentor you. So I was like, whatever, moved on. So fast forward, where it was weird because my life was actually not bad. I was doing well. I was having fun, but inside something was like, I need to press reset. Like, I don't know. I just saw my life and I'm like, I can't see this constant thing being life. Like, there has to be some kind of change here, and I don't know what it is. I didn't know how to pinpoint it. I'll fast forward again. We were in trial for this case, right? And I remember looking at my co-defendant one day, and I said, you know what? I remember I told him, like, I wouldn't mind going away for about 90 days, 3 months or so. He looked at me like I was crazy. He's like, what? He goes, did you lose your mind? Like, I don't want to go away. And I was like, I just want to press reset, and I don't know how to do it. So Press reset on what? I don't know. Right? That's where the subconscious and the conscious mind are out of alignment. There was something in me that was out of alignment with what my purpose was or whatever, and that I just wanted to press reset. And so turns out that no matter what I did to present evidence, it was like falling on deaf ears. It was just the weirdest thing. And I remember the thing I learned there was that we're talking about and I'm putting this other episode too, about the subconscious Wi-Fi signal that our subconscious sends out, how it's not private. It's everybody can detect it unconsciously. So, the gentle nudges are very powerful because somebody, in this case, and I'll get to that point, but I had a mentor that was trying to mentor me to do something and to follow. He saw something for me, but I couldn't follow it, right? So I believe it was the universe guiding him, helping him, guiding him to guide me. But I wasn't listening. So I got sentenced to 13 months, and I was like, wow, that's more than the 90 days I had said I wouldn't mind going away for. So I was kind of disappointed about that. Long story short, I realized there that, not there at that moment, but later in hindsight, that people's reaction to you really is an unconscious thing most of the time based on your vibration. I know it sounds like it sounds redundant a lot of times that I'm saying these things, but it eventually, it took me a while, believe me, to get it. So, bear with me as I try to explain it, and hopefully it all makes sense going forward. But I do want to, so I want to get to this next point, right? That what rules are you following? That is because your subconscious determines the rules you set for your life. That is something that is very powerful, because the way to challenge the rules of reality is to know the rules you want for your life. So once we know the rules of what our life is supposed to look like, if the rules out there are that the economy is collapsing and everybody's losing everything, and your life is like, I never saw myself losing anything, then guess what? You won't. So knowing is the key. Knowing is very important. So I want to get to this part here. I remember after I got sentenced and I went to prison, I got to this facility, it was a big building. And I remember it's more of a holding place. So from there, they transfer you to where you're supposed to finish serving the rest of your time. And when I was there, I remember when I got there, I was so like, I want to keep my mind sharp, because everybody there is just a lot of negativity. So I grabbed a little piece of bar soap, and I started drawing on the table. I did a chess, like a grid, and I cut out some pieces of paper, the yellow ones and the pink ones from this form, and I drew like the king, the queen, the pawn, and the pawns, the tower, the knights. So I put all that on and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "I want to play chess and keep my mind sharp as much as I can here." It was a Friday, and I remember come Monday, I hit a realization. This is not, I knew I wanted to go away to change, grow, and learn about myself. But I knew that at that place, at that moment, that wasn't what was happening. Just watching TV, playing cards, it just wasn't for me. This is not the place. So I told a couple of the guys there, I go, hopefully I get out this week, and to go to the place I was designated to go to, wherever that was going to be. They start laughing. They're like, "Dude, have you ever been here before?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, you're going to be here for 2 weeks. Then you go to the other side of the building for 2 weeks. And then you go to that big building over when you first came in, the one over there on the north side of the facility. You go there for a month, and then from there they ship you out. And I was like, oh. And they looked at each other like, dude, how many times have you been here? And the other guys, one guy's like, oh, I've been here 3 times. And yeah, I've been here like 5 times. We're not making this up. Today, you'll see a guard will give a presentation, and that's just how it is. So, long story short, that Monday evening, afternoon, well, early evening, they gave a presentation and they said, yeah, I expect to be here for 2 weeks, that site for 2 weeks, and that building for a month, and then you go. But then the warden walks in, and the warden goes, we are understaffed, and there's a lot of delays happening right now, so expect to be here for 3 to 4 months. And I remember I looked down and I said, just for that, I'm going to be out of here on or before Wednesday. I said it in my head. And I didn't say it in a way to be defiant, like to be like, I'm going to rebel against what they said. No, it was just like, I just know just for that, I'm going to be out of here sooner. And they looked at me like, I said it to myself, right, in my mind. And that is how, by the way, I want a little plug here that I want to say that is your affirmation. Knowing with certainty is one way, is the best way to pray. That's how you say, you know what? I know I'm out of here. So when I said that, I remember I looked down and I said, you know what? I'll be out of here. I'm going to move out of here by on or before Wednesday. And I use like a real estate term, close on or before such a date. So I was just like on or before Wednesday. Well, that night, I remember a guard came in. He's like, calls out my name. And I was like, yeah. He goes, let me see your ID. And I go, my ID. He goes, you're rolling out. And I remember everybody looked at me with their mouth, like they were in shock. And I got transferred to the facility I was supposed to go to. Come to find out, my attorney told me, I don't know how this happened. In 29 years of law, nobody's ever gotten out of there faster than 12 days, I think he said. And it was because the guy was innocent and he was just completely released. But usually you're at least there for 4 weeks no matter what. And how'd you manage to get out in 4 days? And I said, because I know I'm on a mission. And that facility is not part of the plan. So knowing is a superpower. Knowing with clarity what you want, right? But I remember the part of the thing is like you're knowing, but I also want to talk about something else, and that is this. So so I'll put this down here, by the way, for a note in case you guys want to, knowing is your powerful intention. Knowing gives power to your intention, making it so. When you have confusion, you only delay your manifestation. I wanted to put that down there so you can write that down or screenshot it or whatever, because chaos and confusion cause delays to the things that you want. If you don't know what you want, you won't get anything but continual confusion till you finally get the clarity and say, no. I know now. I don't want this. I want that. And that's when you can say, you know what? Now I know what I want. Thank you. I'm clear about it. That's what I want. And that's how you start to manifest things that are more beneficial for you. But I want to say this. Uncertainty attracts chaos. It's the knowing that cements your manifestation. So remember that uncertainty attracts chaos, confusion delays manifestation, right? If you know that to be true, you don't need to continue in that path. I want to say this too. So I want to say with that, going back to the previous episode of our secret formula being, I would like it if. When you're clear on a intention for your life, clear on an intention of your energy, clear on what you want, you could add that to, I would like it if, whatever you're clear about. I would like it if I get out on or before Wednesday. You know, that's another way to do it, right? So, what works for you? I'd like to hear what you've noticed, how you've noticed it in the past or whatever, something that you've done, because there are many ways, right? We're all learning together. That's why I love, send me emails, if you have any questions, but comment and share and like the video, because I would like to know what you have done as well. That is maybe a different way of doing it that has always been a formula that works for you. These are just formulas that have worked for me. I love sharing them because I feel like they're very powerful, especially if you're facing, or you or not somebody is facing a health issue. I will say, I will add this, that too. I remember one day, so I had these when I was in Chicago. I remember I had these thyroid problems, and I didn't know what it was. And it was, I thought I was having heart issues or something, but it was thyroid issues. I think it was just ultimately, now looking back, it was just stress from being someone that my parents wanted me to be, but not really what I wanted to be. So that's probably another topic. But I remember I went to the doctor, and I was going to get a thyroid scan. And I remember the doctor had me sign some paperwork that said that I will not be within 3 feet of a pregnant woman, that I will make sure nobody uses my utensils. And I was like, what is this? And the doctor was like, oh yeah. And when I walked in at the hospital, I remember they gave me it looked like a cup of like ugly looking dish soap water, and two pills. And it wasn't a red one and a blue one, by the way. So no, it's just two pills. And the guy goes to me, okay, no, drink this and sign here, and you're good. I go, what is this for? And he goes, oh, we're gonna burn off your thyroid. It's radioactive iodine. And I said, what? I go, so I was like, so what do I need my thyroid for? He goes, oh, well, it controls your heart, it controls your hair, it controls all this stuff he's telling me. He goes, it controls, what was he saying? Your metabolism, da da da. And I go, so what if I decide to move to another country or to Africa or something? What happens? Oh, well, you're going to be on synthetic hormones for the rest of your life. And I go, and what if I don't have them? He goes, well, you could die. I go, wait a minute. I go, you know what? I know for a fact, and I remember saying this, no, my body was not made to have parts taken out. No, I'm not doing this. He got mad. He goes, millions of Americans are living like this. I go, I'm not going to be one of them. And he got so upset. I remember my dad was waiting in the lobby where other people were. And this was McNeil Hospital off by Ogden and Ridgeland, I think that's where it's at, in Chicago, off of Berwyn in Illinois. And I remember, and so the doctor, I go, no, I'm not doing it. He goes, well, your doctor said to do it. I go, I don't care. I'm not doing this. I go, I'm going to be fine. So thank you. And I got up to walk out, and he follows me out the door, and he goes, you'll be back. I don't know why the guy was so mad. I mean, I guess that's his commission or what. But he goes, you'll be back. And I go, no, I won't. And everybody in the lobby just looked at him and looked at me like, what just happened there? But wouldn't you know, I ended up being fine. And it ended up being, didn't need to get a surgery done or have any thyroid removed or radioactive iodine or whatever. It just was, no, that's not for me. And I want you to, if you have an issue where maybe, or you or somebody you know is like, whatever it is, job situation, money situation, health situation, whatever, I encourage you to spend time, look within. Maybe you need to isolate yourself for a moment, Isolation helps for you to get clarity. Sometimes when people are not feeling well, everybody rushes. And it's good because it comes out of love, right? Everybody rushes to be like, oh, are I remember it was a friend that was not feeling well. I'm like, oh, I'll go over there and take you this and hang out with you so you're not alone. I'm like, hey, what if this person needs time alone? And because they're always run, 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 going everywhere, party, go, meetings, mixers, party, meetings, mixers, going out. And they have no way of slowing down. And sometimes this is the universe gentle nudge to slow you down so that because your subconscious doesn't care. Uh, our spirit, I should say, doesn't care about whether we are sick because it doesn't get sick. It's the body that gets sick. It doesn't care whether we're homeless because it never goes homeless. It doesn't care whether we're in prison. It never goes to it. Like this is all a physical experience, but in the spirit realm, we don't experience that. It's all about growth and evolution. So it's about whatever it takes for you to grow and evolve to your highest version of yourself possible. And sometimes a little isolation is really helpful. So I'll wrap this up with this. I remember when I was going back to the mentor that told me, "Hey, I'm here to mentor you," and I bumped heads and I said whatever, right? We parted ways. When I was in prison, I met I ended up seeing this guy that he was a mentor to a lot of people. So I asked him if he would mentor me. He said yes. So he had me read. Man, I ended up reading like 15 books in 6 months. I was like on a mission to just grow, but everything was so conscious still. I was just following. I'm like, hey, if you told me to do 50 push-ups a day, I'll do 50 push-ups a day, whatever. I just want to grow. So one day, it was weird, like out of maybe like right before he left out of there, I remember we're sitting there and everything just clicked for me. And I said, whoa, dude, this and this and this and all these things make sense because of blah, blah, blah. And he looked at me and goes, River, wow, what happened? Finally, things are clicking. And I said, you have to know this person because everything he was teaching me was exactly what the mentor in 2003 was teaching me. Fast forward, now we're talking about 12, 13 years later. 13 years later, everything that my mentor in 2003 was teaching me, now it's 2016. And he's like, wait a minute. Like, I go, I don't know that guy. And I go, dude, you have to know that guy. He goes, no. I go, yeah, you do. He goes, no. He goes, and then he looks at me and goes, you had to end up here with no distractions to finally listen. Mic drop moment for me. And remember, because he goes, you had to end up here with no distractions to finally listen. And that, I don't know how to be by myself or go within, right? So the gentle nudge of, hey, I want to mentor you was not enough. Okay, well, maybe we need to isolate you for a moment so you can have a mentor you. Now, extra side note here. I'm not trying to get long-winded, but how when you know where you're supposed to be, everything works out for you. I wanted to say also that the mentor that ended up mentoring me, I was supposed to get 90 days to self-surrender, but the judge said, no, go in I think it was like 16, 18 days. And I remember my attorney said, oh, Your Honor, it's customary to give him 90 days. She goes, nah, he's going to go in, might as well start now. And he looks at me, my attorney looks at me, well, you never know who you're going to meet. I told him later, remember you said that to me? He goes, I don't think like that, so I wouldn't have said that to you. So I was like, okay. But I will say that, remember the whole thing about being in the facility for 2 months, 3 to 4 months? No, I ended up getting moved right away. And when I met my mentor in there, turns out he got out. Had it been 90 days or had I been held over at that facility for 3 to 4 months, I would have never met him because he was only there with me for the first 3 months and he got out. I literally would have gone in and probably I would have never met him because he would have either been leaving in 2 days. When I looked at the dates, he would have been leaving in 2 days from when I got there had I been given 90 days to self-surrender. So everything is aligned. The people that you're supposed to meet, the places, everything will open up for you to grow. But let the gentle nudges be enough. That's what I always I share. Let the gentle nudges be enough, and don't wait for catastrophe to happen or some kind of bad situation to finally listen. That's not what we're looking for. We're not looking to end up without a house or end up without this, end up without that, to finally be like, okay, now, universe, I'll do whatever you want. Because we always catastrophe is the catalyst for change. That's the way we're wired. That's why you could read, watch things, or have lectures, but nothing compares to experience. So, yes, I just wanted to share this with you, man. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, share, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and share this with someone if you feel or it brings clarity to you about a situation that somebody might need to hear. I would appreciate it. At the very least, like I said, like and share. And if you have any questions, send an email and post, comment. If you have a formula that works for you, something that you've seen that works quickly for you and it's laser focused. Here we're all sharing with each other things that work so that we can use them in case we ever get in a situation that needs them. All right. Well, thank you once again for joining me. Hope you liked the video and stay tuned for the next one. Take care.